First of all, the biggest challenge is getting over the fear of failure. The reason why most people are not entrepreneurs is because two things. They're afraid, they don't want to do the work. It's too easy to be comfortable out there, even with a good job. I'm out there, I'm working, I have a good position, I'm working for a company, although you wind up in your life with like a 10 or 12 of them, right? That's the way it is today. You could, if you do it right, all right, you make sure you plan ahead. You don't just say, I'm going to open a pizzeria and go out and get a store and then decide, what am I going to do, right? Or start thinking, what am I going to do? You have to do two things. Plan out. Is this something that I would enjoy? I have a knowledge of? I can get people who know what they're doing? It's a lot to think about. What's it going to cost me? Startup. Startup costs are the most important. As a matter of fact, what I was saying when I learned on my own, when I was getting my own financing, all the applications, I made a recommendation they should consider startup, businesses versus established, because they wanted me to have all kinds of inventory and equipment. I don't have that, right? So the bottom line is that you want to first go out and really research it, plan it out, do something you know what you're doing, or you're going to have people who know what they're doing. I never operated a pizzeria. I don't make pizza. All right, I've dabbled with little things at home. Bottom line is, if I'm going to do that, don't think it's easy because you never did it. Okay, this is not Ralph Cramden we're talking about here with the schemes. So, the little joke with the honeymooners we talked about before. Yes, I am a honeymooners fan. Bottom line is that you have to research, come up with a business plan, so you know exactly what you're going to do, which also factors in the cost. The most difficult part of it is the startup cost, because most of us don't have the money to lay out. We're going to need a loan. Right now it's tough getting loans. You may have to just keep doing research, wait until the economy gets better or the market changes, the laws change, but do your research. Come up with a business plan. What would I do? How am I going to do this? What is it going to take? I'm going to open a pizzeria? Okay, what do I need? All right, I need a store. Great. How big of a store do I need? What do I need in there? I would imagine ovens, right? I'm not an expert in that area. Then you're going to have the Board of Health come in, right? You have to know you're going to need licenses. People don't realize that no matter what we are in, whatever the product is, the state has license requirements, or the city, wherever you're in, municipality. I had to advertise in a newspaper as an LLC, for like 6 straight weeks. I had to lay out like $1,500, $1,200 because it's a mandate. By the way, I will tell them this. I will tip off anybody who's going to start a business. You'll learn things. You can talk to your accountant, whatever. There are companies that will say, give us $1,500 and we'll do the whole thing. We'll lay everything out for you. You don't have to do it yourself. Go out and get this certificate and get that. They know what you need. They know what business you're in, and they get all the requirements in. You'll get sub things within your, business, but they'll do that for you, and it's worth the cost. Okay, I spent $1,200 alone just for advertising. I could have spent $1,500 to somebody to do it all for me. I found out. Okay, so anyway, this is what you want to do. You want to really research this, think it out. The last thing you do is make a commitment to a facility, a store, a building, a lease. You don't do that till you know, I have everything ready to go. I have the money, I know what I need, I have all my vendors, plan it out. Again, let's look at the pizzeria. By the way, pizzerias, I know bagel places are very profitable, right? They're good businesses. And you get paid for what you do. But who are you going to order from? Don't do it the other way around where you're going to just get a place, you're going to figure it out. You're not paying rent every month. Bottom line is, when I was going along and I was renovating, I had to get my place to renovate, I had to pay rent.
Right.
And I wasn't even doing business for, let's see, March of 2010. He gave me 3 months, and of course 2 of those months it took him to get all the equipment out of there so I can even get in. But be prepared for that. Then I didn't actually open my doors till December, right? So I was paying like 7, 8 months without even having an operation going.
Right.
So you might have to be prepared for that too. Save as much money, and here's another thing. My advice is you have sufficient funding to operate for at least 6 months without getting a dime. All right? If you're in a business that you're going to get paid right away, great. But you never know. You have to lay out a lot of things without getting the return.